What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So as far as data points this upcoming week, there isn't all that much coming out from China, so that's not going to play a very big part in obviously the day-to-day, but it's going to be more linked to tariffs as well as a couple other things I'll go over. But tariffs, we've seen over the last 48 hours, Trump has had multiple conversations with China. I don't know if you can actually agree and trust that they're going as good as he is portraying them as, but if there is some resolution between China and the States this week, the markets are going to boom like crazy. And some people might disagree with me on that, but if you even look at NIO, it went from roughly around that $5 range to where it is now, largely because of the tariffs. So at the end of the day, it would logically move up in accordance if there is some resolution. So I think that's going to be a good thing. And then of course with the whole tariffs, if that does get kind of resolved, then you'll have China and the EU start to renegotiate their tariffs, because that's been kind of put on pause or suspended. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. And then secondly, not to the same magnitude as tariffs, but Tesla does have their earnings after hours on Tuesday. So whatever happens to Tesla, good, bad, and the ugly, does typically trickle down to other EVs. So again, there's that. Tesla just came out with this as well, saying that they in the US aren't going to be pursuing that cheaper model just yet. So it's that's a little bit more of a precursor maybe for the earnings, but we'll have to wait and see how that all does play out. And today was the launch for the Firefly, so I think there should be a lot of good hype associated to that. It'd be better if there wasn't all that much in tariffs with the EU, because I think the Firefly is going to be a very big hit in the EU. But nonetheless, 16.4 with battery included, so pretty good stuff for this. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. I don't know if this itself will necessarily prompt any new analyst ratings or anything like that for at least Monday, Tuesday, or whatever, but I think just generally this is a good move in the right direction. As far as shorts, so going into this week, 14.13% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 224.76 million shares. Shorts have been starting to return quite a lot, so that's kind of a good thing. Maybe they are insinuating that there is more upside at these levels, so let me know your viewpoint on that. But it did go from roughly around 15% short interest to where it is now. So again, they might be trying to forecast what happens, or they're just maybe mitigating risk right now. But with it closing above that 350 mark going into this week, that does mean 25,000 at that 350 is in the money, as well as 10,000 at that 3. So you should see a nice bump up come Monday, as market makers don't have obviously any volatile stocks such as NIO in their inventory, so they have to go to the open market. Same as last week, as I shared, so it did cause a nice little bump up. So no different than this. So these two strike prices together works out to be roughly around 3.5 million shares that do need to be covered. And there wasn't any abnormal transactions after hours on Friday, or sorry, I guess Thursday. That was the last trading day. So again, you could see a nice bump up in the stock price. But a couple key points to watch for with it at 353. It is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 310 is going to be a strong support. 356 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. And it was largely flirting with that on the Thursday. So just watch for it to get above that early on in the week, set the trajectory and really move higher. So 356, just watch for that. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings. Even looking at articles, not really much going on as far as that. People just waiting to see what is going to come from all of these tariffs, and just NIO hitting the marks on their targets. But aside from all of that fun stuff, on the actual chart itself, it is and has been flirting with that ALMA, so that's 356. So just watch for it to, again, similarly get above that. So 356 both on the ALMA and also the fib levels. But if for whatever reason it does gain some pretty good traction, just watch 422 and then 433 as the next strong real targets. And like I said, I think NIO has momentarily found its bottom, roughly around that kind of low to mid threes, and then now it's just waiting for either tariffs to be escalated, causing it to really break below that point, or like I said, some sort of resolution to really push it higher. One thing to take note of, even though I don't think it's been officially confirmed, I think it's fair to assume that NIO was dumping a lot of the American bonds, causing the yields to go higher, which was causing some uncertainty in the market. Near pretty much last week, they really stopped doing that. So they stopped selling their bonds. So I don't know if that is a good kind of sign that they are truly having good conversations with the states and they're not really trying to damage it exactly. So let me know your viewpoint on all of that. Do you think that we're going to be seeing higher highs, or do you think we're going to break down? I do feel a little bit more optimistic about this week, that we'll probably be trading closer to this pivot point. That is, if we don't have any deal with the states, or if there is some sort of resolution, then I could see us trading between this R1 and the pivot, probably more so on the low end, but still nonetheless that would be a huge improvement from the recent lows. So let me know your general thoughts. Where do you see things going? Do you think the Firefly is a good deal? Do you think this is a good catalyst? And what's your kind of viewpoint on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And hopefully everyone's having a kick-ass weekend. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.